welcome to this showcase event on Harper TV. I'm Don Morrison. My partner, tell me all about yourself.
Hello, I'm Drew Johnson. I am the co-coach at Bel Air High School. This is my second year coaching. We have a wonderful program there. We have a bunch of new kids in the program, and we are at one of our final tournaments of the year today.
Drew, we're at Geneva Farm Golf Course here in Pilesville, Maryland. It's a beautiful layout. It's sort of early fall. The leaves are beginning to turn. A crisp day, maybe what, 50, 55 degrees?
Lower 50s today, definitely.
Yeah, very little wind. For a golfer, this is pretty ideal.
This is a beautiful day to get out on the course. The only challenge we can see today is a little bit of a high wind and maybe the leaves on the ground if you're going too far out.
Yeah, so the winds, we're looking at 18. That's where we're stationed. 18 is a beautiful dogleg left. It's a hole maybe 350 yards in total length. Some of the golfers we've seen in previous years try to cut the corner and go directly on their drive to the green. Is that something you would do?
Personally, depending on the wind conditions, today may be a good day for that. If you're going over this water here, you could even clip that car path and get an awesome bounce right up here in front of the green, especially with the back place pinned. It'll leave you a great second shot.
Yeah, the only trouble with that is that you've got so much trouble coming in if you're going to come to the green off the tee. By that I mean you've got a very narrow green to hit.
Exactly.
You've got a sand trap in front of the green. You've got a sand trap behind the green. You've got a couple of trees. I think you're right. If I had a choice, I would probably play that dog leg. Get as close to that little outcropping of rocks as you can.
Definitely.
And that would give you what, Wes, a second shot of about?
You're probably about there. I think it's 100 markers. That we had the red birdhouses for the 100 yards. I would personally be using a 4 hybrid here. Try to get up to that 100-yard marker. 56 degree right on there. Nice shot for birdie. This would be one of the easier holes today, in my opinion.
The only trouble again with this hole, having played this many times, this green is treacherous. They've got the pin just about midway, sort of on a hump, so that you never get a straight putt, it seems, on this hole.
Exactly. If you leave it short and you hit it too hard, you're going all the way off the back of the green, and if you hit it too far, same thing, you're on that hump, you're going right down the hill, and then we have trouble with the bunkers here on both sides, so you can't leave it too far on the left or too far on the right, and if you leave it too far short, there's even a little hill you have to chip over here that can cause some trouble for the kids.
Yeah, this first group that's teeing off, Alex Ashman, Alex from C. Milton Wright, Anthony Topper from Harvard Tech, Ray Pennypacker from Haverty Grace, and Lincoln Blankenship from North Harvard. As you know, they've arranged these foursomes so that we're going to be seeing the top 6 groups come through, one of them being a female group, which we're excited about.
We are excited for it. Very impressive year coming from the females, especially out of Harvard Tech High School. I believe shooting around par every single time she's played.
Yep, Casey Day, one of the real premier golfers. Coincidentally, Casey Day is the niece of Sam Day, a classmate of mine from all the way back in the Edgewood days, and also Larry Day, who runs a auto shop here in the area.
Oh, how about that?
Yep. And so they're telling me that she's headed for Coastal Carolina next year.
Great school for golf.
Yep, play golf, and also she wants to be in the golf business, maybe not as a player, but as perhaps not a green superintendent, but somebody working with golf.
Exactly. That's going to be a great career to get into, especially starting at a young age. Coastal Carolina is a wonderful school getting into.
Yep, we're just about ready to watch these young people tee off. As we said, Alex Ashman out of C. Milton Wright, senior at C. Milton, played golf all 4 years. He's one of the captains this year at C. Milton Wright. Also played lacrosse for 2 years at C. Milton Wright. He's been the manager the last couple of years. Alex works at Winters Run Golf Course. In the free time, he enjoys boating and fishing.
Can't complain there. Same thing goes right back.
Yep. We're going to tell Ray up at the tee that we're ready to go. Ray, we're ready to go.
Are you done? On the tee box now is Ray Pennypacker, Haverty Grace.
Ray Pennypacker is getting all ready to tee off. He'll be the first one teeing off from Haverty Grace. The golf team for 2 years. He's really worked hard to get better this last year. Planned to attend Clemson University next fall and have been a member of the National Honor Society for the last 2 years. Exciting ducks, geese on the pond. I think if I were teeing off, the geese would be hiding about now. I've been known to clip a ball into that pond.
I think we've all been there, especially on this hole going downhill. If you clip it wrong, you are in that water, and it is a hard shot to recover from, especially with that drop zone behind the trees. You need a really strong second shot to make up for that.
Jack Davis, who planned and built this course in 1988, he took me out. I was doing the story when they first started here, and he showed me that pond. It was his farm pond, and he pointed to his barn and said, "That's going to be my clubhouse." I sort of laughed. Here we are, how many years later, 30-some years later, and his dream has come true.
Still one of a personal favorite course in Maryland. I think everyone has at least played here once.
Alex Ashman teeing off. Check no Ray Pennypacker. Don't know if Ray has teed off yet or not. So what do we have now? We have Lincoln Blankenship. Lincoln from North Hartford teeing off. He's a junior state qualifier in 2024. We're seeing if we can see exactly where the ball is going to land. Now, if you had your ideal, you'd want to hit it as close to this little rock outcropping as you can.
That's going to be a great shot laying up right here, going off the tee box. Especially looks like they're all going off with their drivers in 3 woods.
Anthony Topper now teeing off. Anthony from North Hartford, a sophomore, second year playing golf. He also plays lacrosse. That's a bit of a weird combination, golf and lacrosse.
We have noticed that a lot this year. We have a lot of Bel Air players coming from lacrosse, a lot of C-Mellon. Seems like a very popular sport to come over. Normally we get a lot of baseball players, but
yeah,
it's great to see these cross sports.
The thing about it, baseball and golf are totally opposite swings.
Exactly.
In baseball, you get the arms out away from the body. You break those wrists as you come through. In golf, no, keep it as close to the body as you can.
And that's one of the hardest adjustments for these kids to get used to sometimes is going from those baseball swings. We actually had a baseball player on Bel Air last year, Ethan Smedley. He's doing great things now off in college, but he was one of our top players last year coming from baseball, which is surprising.
We have a little bit of trouble picking out exactly who they are. That is Alex Ashman, we're told. Alex from C-Milton Wright. The only trouble with golfers is they don't wear uniforms or numbers. So when they're far away, it's a little hard to tell.
It's a lot harder to see.
Especially today with all the kinds of equipment they're wearing. Again, it is chilly, maybe 50, 55. Not a bad day for golf. Sun's out.
Luckily, we are walking around today, so after 18 holes, we'll definitely see a lot more of the sweatshirts come off, a lot more uniforms. That looked like it was a beautiful swing coming right over.
Try to find out where that ball is going to land. Again, this is our first foursome: Alex Ashman, Anthony Topper, Ray Pennypacker, and Lincoln Blankenship.
Looks like he should have a great second shot here. Look at that. That's going to be perfect laying up here. Like I said, this is a hole that you can either birdie no problem, or you're going to be double parring depending on how you hit this first drive. This first drive will determine the hole for me.
And the trouble with this first foursome is they're forced to tee off on 18. This is the first hole they played.
Exactly.
So I would rather play this hole after I've had a chance to warm up on some of the other holes.
100%.
So precise. The shot has to be placed. You can't be long. If you're long, you're in the trees. You got no shot. Can't be short. You're in the pond. Obviously, you have no shot. Can't be left. If you are, you're in that mess.
Yeah, exactly.
Here on the left. So you need to hit the ball somewhere in the middle of that fairway. And you know, the further back you are, then the longer the second shot, the more difficult.
Especially today off the driving range, we did not have time to get our drivers out on the grass. They were under repair. But most of these kids in these first groups, they hit their drivers so well every time. It's almost like they never miss. So we should see a great first round of holes coming through these first 6 groups.
We're watching this first group: Alex Ashman, Anthony Topper, Ray Pennypacker, and Lincoln Blankenship. I think they've all teed off, and it looks like they might all be at least in play.
I believe I saw all of them in play here as we see them walking over now. It looks like at least the last 2 shots are going to have a great lineup here for the green. Like I said, we want to try and hit it over this first hump here. We got a nice little roll down. It's a little bit of a tricky pin placement today, being over that middle hump we have going on.
Yep. You know, I've never seen a pin placement that's been easy. I guess the easiest if it was in the front, then it's fairly flat. But then there's a big swale right in the middle of that green that goes down and then up. So if you're long, you're coming downhill.
Exactly.
If you're short, you're coming uphill. I don't know. If I had my druther, maybe I'd want to be toward the far side away from us, pin high, if I had a choice.
For me personally, I would want to leave this one a little bit. I might even want to go over the pin if I'm chipping, because I'd rather be putting up that hill, because it looks like the pin's placed further down that little slope here. It'll leave you a little bit of a better shot than if you're coming towards the front of the green. Because if you hit that too far, you're gone.
Yeah.
That's going to be another 2-putt right there if you don't hit it well enough there. It's going to be a very interesting hole to watch how they play this putting.
It really is. And again, if you're unfortunate enough to get into the trap, there you see one of the balls that's in the high stuff. That's not a good place to be.
That's not where we want to be right away.
I have been there before. You know, golf is one of those games that, what was it Mark Twain said, a good walk spoiled?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You hit the ball where you don't want to, and then you got to play it where it lies.
Golf can make your day or ruin your day. There's no in between.
Yep. What got you interested in golf? What was
I've been playing golf since I was just I could walk, really. I've been playing all my life. And then when I started working at Bel Air High School, they had a spot open for coaching. And me and my good friend Michael Mullen, he's a math teacher at Bel Air High School. We've been good friends the past 2 years now, playing golf together every day. We're out here coaching. And I wouldn't wish for a better way to start the year for the school season.
Absolutely. Now, of course, they've had the district tournament already. They've got the state tournament coming up in about 2 weeks?
In about 2 weeks at University of Maryland down there.
That's fun. Now, this young man here, we can't see who that is exactly. Can you make him out?
I can't see a shirt on there.
He looks like he's behind a tree, at least from our
tricky
angle.
shot. I would be leaving this low, try to just get it under that tree to get you hitting that hump and bump it. Sounds like he caught those branches a little bit. Did not go too far there. It looks like probably went 30 yards maximum in front of him.
Yeah, the young man is still going to have a shot of maybe 100, 150 yards. Again, that's the danger. You hit the ball really well, especially with the wind today. It looks like the wind may be, what, a little bit at their back?
It's definitely at their back right now. The only tricky thing is if you keep that ball low, you're not going to catch that wind. So I want to see a lot of low shots today, trying to just keep it out of that wind, because that's going to change your game today completely.
Here's our second player, has a wide open shot, about 150 yards.
That's going to just get to the front of the green here.
That is a great shot. And again, it is, as you said, on the front of the green, a putt of maybe about 30 feet, though, coming uphill with a little bit of a right turn.
It's going to be a little bit trickier here where he has to putt because he has to go up. It's going to break down to the left, especially with that pin placement, like I said earlier.
Yeah, but being on the green, you know, that's what you want to be with your second shot. You know, even if you 3-putt and get a bogey, you're not really
starting the day off strong, even with the bogey.
Exactly. If you get out of here with a par or a birdie, my goodness, then it sets up your whole day.
I know. This is actually going to be a tricky shot right here. We're on that very far slope in front of the green. He looks like he's going to have to chip it here, but with the angle he's going to be at, it's going to be more of a bump and run. It looks like he might try to have to play there. Still a great shot just being up here.
It is. Now, we've seen the one shot that was chipped out from under the tree.
It looks like the greens are a little bit slower today. That ball came to a resounding stop right there.
That was a nice second shot. It'll be on an uphill putt, but then there's a downhill. And again, that turn you have when it gets to the green, you know, these young men haven't had a chance to practice putt on this green.
Exactly.
It's going to be an adventure. So part of the fun of being on this 18th hole is how the ball will travel once it gets on the green.
And for most of these kids, the first hole is going to set up their day for them. If you do great in that first hole, you're going to have strong confidence going in. You're going to feel great the rest of the day. You're going to shoot low. If you're maybe going in the water for the first, you're going to kind of slow down a little bit, rethink your choices, and maybe figure out what you're going to do the next hole to recover.
Yeah, you know, for an adult, for somebody who's experienced, golf is a challenging sport. For
Definitely.
a young person who's still trying to master, you know, your emotions, my goodness, as you said, the problems with starting on 18, as these young people are, is you just love to get out of here with a par.
Exactly. And it looks like we might have at least 2 pars here with these longer putts. If we can just get short up there, we're going to be good.
You have a lot of confidence. If it's me, I'm thinking, 3-putt, I'll take a 3-putt from here. Yeah.
One thing I've always heard, it was never leave a birdie putt short. I'd rather be past the hole than leaving it too short, knowing I could have hit it a little bit more.
Yep, and again, the only problem with being long is then you put yourself on a very tough situation where you may be going left or right. We're watching now the 2 young men, the one young player way off to the left there. And again, we're sorry that we're having a little trouble identifying who they are with their hoodies and so forth on. We're not seeing their shirts, so we'll take our best guess at telling you who they are as they come up.
When we get on the green, we should be able to see the school uniforms a little bit better.
Yeah.
Especially with the bags, we can see who's who.
We had the one young man way off to the left. I'm not sure if that was his drive or not.
I couldn't see if he went in, but if that was his drive, that's a smart way to play it. Because it leaves you a lot better shot. You got to get over that bunker there, and look, you can roll it.
Now there's a white post down in the fairway. Does that mean out of bounds for these young men?
That's going to be out of bounds for, I think this is hole, I want to
This is
say.
hole number 1 coming
Yeah,
opposite.
hole number 1, that's going to be out of play for them.
Okay. So now we have 2 of the players on the green.
We have them all reading their putts here. We're going to see how we're going to play this, especially going long here.
Let's try to identify. The closest one to us is Alex Ashman. Now, I'm sorry, we're trying to identify these people.
We're going to have a tricky chip shot here going to the front of the green. Let's see how he plays, if he's going to put a little bit of backspin on there, try and
Okay.
leave it short.
This is Anthony Topper, we're told, who will now be as quiet as we can as these young men are lining up their shot. You know, I did not see that ball go over our heads, but we have a young man who's hitting the ball from, yeah, that's Lincoln Blankenship. This is a tough shot. He's over the green. He's got to go over this trap and stop it short.
It looks like he has a few tree roots in his way too.
How
Let's see
would-
how he plays that.
How would you play this? I mean, would you try to hit the sand and let it just trickle on?
With the way these greens are played out, I would definitely hit the sand, especially because the sand looks a little bit harder today. Let's see how this chip shot plays out right here.
Okay, this is Anthony Topper now, who's trying to get the ball on the green from North Hartford. Anthony, just a sophomore.
Slow down. Hit the pin.
Oh,
That was still a great chip from that angle, I can't lie.
It
Now he's
was.
going to have an easier putt going uphill.
and this is Alex Ashman now lining up his putt. Putt of about 30 feet up the hill. It'll come down the hill when it gets to the pin. Come up short.
Just leaving a little bit short. These greens do seem to be playing a little bit slower. I can't tell if we had rain last night, but...
Now the chip onto the green. That's a great
Oh,
chip
look at
in!
that!
What a shot! Was
Beautiful chipping.
Was that a birdie? Yeah, that's Lincoln Blankenship. Lincoln is the one who
Beautiful
hit the
par.
ball. Remember, he hit the ball from behind the green here, over the green, over the trap. So he gets a par.
That is a beautiful way to start your day. That's going to build your confidence in your short game, especially from where he was behind that tree.
Amazing. What a play.
All right, lining up the putt here, going uphill. This is a putt
This
that I
is,
would
this
prefer
is
to have.
Anthony Topper. Catches a bit of that hill and comes, not a bad putt though.
Not
the
a bad
right
putt. It's
length.
going to be a nice little tap in. I want to say tap in, but it's going to be a nice little second putt you can have.
This is the one that you will want your partner to say, it's good, pick it up.
Exactly,
You
especially
can't-
with the way.
You can't do it in this situation. This is Ray Pennypacker getting set to make his second shot. Ray is the one who put the ball probably closest to the pin, obviously, on the second shot.
Pin out, going up and down. Nice little bump, but it still looks like it's going to be left a little short. These
Yeah.
greens seem to be playing very slow today.
You know, it looks like the greens are cut very low, and you would think they would be fast. But,
Exactly.
You're right, those two. Now he's facing the situation where he's got to make it for the par. Alex Ashman now. Alex is going to finish up. Is that what we're doing?
Nice little putt, get downhill.
Oh,
Oh, just lipped the left side of the cup, but
Just on
still
the
going to
low
roll
side.
with that downhill.
Yeah, this is not a gimme either. That was for his, what, par?
Believe
This'll
so.
be for his bogey.
And that's no gimme putt either. Those are the hardest putts to make.
Lining up the putt now. Here's Pennypacker.
Still a tricky shot, no gimme. Still going downhill, it's going to break a little bit.
And
Just
passed.
lipped the cup. And
know-
with that hill, it's going to be just as far as it was when he first putt.
And you saw how that ball, it just sort of trickled down. Anthony Topper now. Topper trying to tap this one in. As you said very correctly, a tap in? No.
Yeah.
No. Not when it's for all the marbles.
just looked like left of the cup there.
Putting through your shadow.
That is definitely a challenge here.
Life is tough enough without. And so now Ashman to finish up.
Like I said with the first hole, these putts are going to make or break your day. It's going to feel like all we have to do is just move on to the next hole, recover. Just a wild break to the right there. Definitely didn't expect that to break
You
as
don't
much as it
see
did.
it. You know, having been here for many years, yeah, that putt is just, you know, almost impossible.
Exactly.
You have to hit it hard. This is Pennypacker now trying to finish up. I think Pennypacker's going for his bogey now. Yeah, this is for.
Now he saw how it breaks. Let's see how he plays it. These greens are always tricky to read, especially with the.
Hard to put a putt that short. You've got to what, have maybe 6 inches worth of break,
Exactly.
and it's just hard to make yourself.
Especially
do that.
while you're going uphill. And you read the
nice
break
putt.
perfect.
Nice putt. So Blankenship comes out with a par on this hole. Remember, he's the one who was way up here next to the tree, chipped it way over, and he chipped the ball in for the par.
That's going to be a first hole roundup for these players here. With a beautiful chip in, that's going to definitely build your confidence in the short game. So we'll see how he plays throughout the day.
You'll see this replay. What a beautiful chip.
Look at that, just hit the pin, sunk right in.
I mean, that's the one you dream of.
Every day.
Yep. Now, this second group is the female group we're going to have. Abigail Smith starting off. Abigail from North Hartford, sophomore, two-time state qualifier.
State qualifier sophomore year is a beautiful thing to see. You don't see that often, it feels like.
Casey Day, the young lady from Hartford Tech that we've been telling you about, Sarai Moss and Maya Cantella. They are the foursome getting set to tee off.
I believe Casey Day placed 4th in states last year as a junior.
Yeah, and she's senior, 4th year on the team. Casey Day, now teeing off. Casey, the second, we talked about her, 22 first place finishes this year. First place last year's counties, first place 2 years at the state qualifier, placed 4th in the state last year.
Going for it over the water, playing it safe, she looked like.
Geneva Farm Golf Course in Pilesville, Maryland. It is a public course. It's one of the gems of Hartford County.
It is. It is a beautiful course to play. Especially on a day like today. You got a nice crisp breeze in. Get out here early in the morning.
It was a dairy farm in its early stages. We talked to the late, great Jack Davis. He said he didn't want it to become houses. He didn't have anybody to turn the farm over to, so he made a golf course out of it. Here's Sarai Moss teeing off.
I believe she is
She's
a freshman.
Yeah. We're told, get used to hearing your name. She's a well-rounded game, poised and focused golfer, we're told.
And she is +1 through the day, it seems. That is a great day to start, especially coming off a 17. It's a little bit of a harder hole. Now, she has been at Winner's Run every day. She'll spend 3-4 hours a day putting alone just to work on her game.
Wow.
I have never seen that much dedication from a player going into their freshman year. She is someone who definitely plans her life around the sport.
That's wonderful.
It
Great to see.
looked like an iron off the tee box, and that's going to be a great shot that she can lay up.
Yeah, it's right in the middle of the fairway. Can't see exactly how far back it is.
I want to say it's probably going to be about a 150-yard shot here.
So again, the layout here, we are on hole number 18. Here's our third young lady to tee off, Maya Cantella.
She is +3 throughout the day. Looks like she is going with a hybrid shot off the tee box here.
Maya from Aberdeen. She's a senior, played high school golf all 4 years, a 4.0 student. Nice looking shot.
There you go, just left. That's actually going to play out pretty well if you leave it there. It's got a nice roll. It looks like the fairways are going to be very good for rolling today. The grass looks like to just be cut recently. Not too many leaves to lose your ball in. It's going to be a perfect day.
Yeah, you're so right. The leaves have not yet fallen. Another week or 2 weeks once the leaves come off, boy.
It would have been a whole different game.
You talk about, golf is hard enough, but then you got the wind, and you got the cold, and you got leaves, and all the things that can be added into it. Why do we
Exactly.
play this game?
I know, right? We come out here, we put ourselves through these conditions just to shoot 110.
Dennis Cassidy, our director today. Dennis is a avid golfer, and he loves coming out here because he gets to watch other people suffer. That's what golfers love to do.
I can't lie. There have been times when we get out there, we see the person in front of us shake a shot, and kind of a little chuckle.
Yeah, but you say, "Oh," like you're really sorry, but secretly no.
Secretly no, but then when we go up there and then
Yeah.
we take 3 practice swings, and then we do the same exact thing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it is a challenging sport. The thing about golf is, unlike other sports, the ball sits there and says, "I'm not going to move."
Exactly.
Okay, you've got $1,000 worth of club in your hand. You paid $50 for a sleeve of balls, and I'm just going to sit here and let you hit me,
Exactly.
and then laugh at you. Well,
Golf is a beautiful sport.
It is.
It brings everyone together.
The great thing about it is even old people like me can semi-play the game. It's one of those lifetime sports that once you take it up, you get with a group of people you like to be with.
Exactly.
It's just more social than it is anything else.
Like I said, I've been playing all my life. We'll have a guys trip to play golf at least once a year, and it is probably the most I look forward to more than watching the Super Bowl.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Well, here they are, the 4 young ladies in this group. We're so thankful for Ray Pankwin and all the others who set this up for us. What they've done is they've allowed the top golfers to tee off beginning on 18 if you're that first group. So the last group, I think, is teeing off on like 13 that we're going to see.
I believe so.
They'll be working their way from 13 to 14, 15, 16, 17, and then we'll see them here on 18.
All right, we have Moss with her second shot. This is going to be a great second shot. This is exactly where I would want to place the ball here.
She's back about maybe 170 yards.
I would say
maybe?
about 170, 75.
Yeah, and what would you use? With the wind blowing, it appears to be blowing from our back.
For now, their ball is going to be shifting left. So about 170, for me personally, I'd be using a 9-iron or a soft 8 to try and get it up. I would want to leave it a little bit lower with this wind today. As soon as you hit it up in the air, that ball's going to catch it. People don't realize how much the wind will affect your shot here.
Absolutely. You see the young lady Moss throwing grass up in the air, trying to see what the wind is doing.
Smart play. All right, a little practice swing here. Let's see how she does on her second shot.
So Maya Moss, again, a freshman, as we mentioned.
Expect to hear that name a lot more.
Looks like good contact.
All right, just front of the green. Like I said, it's going to roll up. It's short of the bunker. You're going to have a wonderful chip here. You chip it towards that top of the hill right there with the 56.
And now we see Casey Day, the young lady we've been talking about, who placed 4th in the state last year. Senior, 4th year on the team, 2-year captain, Hartford Tech.
Under the tree, shade can block the ball. Shade can affect you a lot more than you think, especially out here in these conditions.
Yeah, she's pulled the ball a little bit left and got fortunate. There's a second pond there that ball could have trickled into.
Exactly. It stopped rolling just enough. Let's see how she plays this. Beautiful contact. Looks like it's going to get up there. Just a little bounce. There we go. It's on the green.
Very nice shot.
That's going to be a great 2-putt right there.
I'm not sure how she got her drive there. There's a tree right behind where the ball ended up landing. Somehow she got it safely there, on in 2. And now here's Abigail Smith.
All right, beautiful contact. That's what you want to do. You want to get it up here, get it past that front of the green, and it's going to have a beautiful roll.
Got kind of a pink ball.
Exactly. Hey, and these, I can't see the ball half the time, so I don't blame them.
I'm proud of that. Maya Canatella now. Maya +3 after that first hole. Maya from Aberdeen, senior, played high school golf all 4 years.
That is where you want your drive to be right there.
Yeah, that is beautiful. That's about 110 yards, perhaps.
Exactly.
A wedge from there.
A little bit right. It's going to be right up by us under the trees.
Not
She's
happy
actually,
with that shot. There is, yeah, you're right. It sort of trickled behind a tree. She might have room to bump it up. Certainly not able to get it in the air.
even if she takes a 7-iron, just to bump and run it, because this is the kind of conditions today where the ball is going to roll.
The trouble with bumping and running, everything is downhill.
Exactly.
And so the ball she's going to have to hit it high up near our broadcasting spot here and let it trickle down on the green.
I'm very curious of how she's going to play this third shot out. It looks like we have 3 out of the 4 on, or at least on the fringe of the green up here.
Maya Canatella, Soraya Moss, Casey Day, and Abigail Smith. they, the 4 golfers in this female group here, the second one we're seeing. Drew Johnson, my partner here, and Drew, thanks for stopping by and being with us, Bel Air coach, co-coach at Bel Air.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
We enjoy having somebody who is an expert in the field.
I wouldn't go that far,
Well,
but
that's my question. Is there such a thing as an expert in golf?
look, one day you can be the pro of the century. The next day you could be a
yeah.
rookie all over again. Golf is never consistent.
And the statement you're going to make is, you know, I'll never play this game again until you get a next chance.
Until the next day you wake up and you want to get back out there.
Young lady moving a cord, able to do that. That's one of our cables that she's able to move.
All right. It's one of her irons out here. Let's see how she plays this.
This is Maya Canatella. I think you're right. I think she's just going to try to bump and run, maybe a 7-iron.
She left it a little bit short. Looked like she chunked it a little bit.
Yeah.
Just hit it a little far behind it.
Looked up, I think, just before she shot. Difficult shot. Like I say, she was planning where she needed to land it.
Exactly. Especially with that dirt behind it. Very tricky to hit out of that.
Now her 4th shot. 4th shot at the par 4. Much better.
That's going to roll.
Going to turn left, though, and go away from the green. Sanaya Moss now. Bumping the ball onto the green. Drew, a good spot to be, right?
I would love to be right here. Leave a small chip. If I can put it just to the back of that pin.
Yeah, coming, she's got a straight shot right at the pin.
There really is no way to predict where it's going to go after you saw from the last hole. Like they're going left and right. That's going to be a beautiful chip. That's going to go right up towards the pin. That's
Yeah, that may be about a 10 or 12 footer. The ball took up real well because it hit the side of that hill.
chance for birdie here, going downhill a little bit. We'll see how this one breaks out. We have Casey Day reading her putt here.
Yeah, this is Casey Day. Casey Day reading that putt, looking at it from all angles.
Like we said, this is a more unpredictable hole that we saw from last. We saw how much it was breaking, more than I expected, more than I could see from up here at least.
Drew, she's got some kind of a, an item in her hand?
It looks like she has the course layout on there, especially with the way the greens are, which is very useful, especially like today where the pin placements are all over the place.
Young lady who looks to do golf as a career. Maybe not playing necessarily in the pro level, but headed for Coastal Carolina down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, the golf capital of the world.
Beautiful place to be. I was just down there 2 weeks ago, played down at Pinehurst, some family down there.
Uphill.
She absolutely nailed that putt. That's going to be a great spot.
What a beautiful
That was
roll.
a great putt.
This is what ideally, if you can't go in, you'd like to be just a bit below the hole. This looks like a straight in putt, maybe 2 feet.
Now she's using a mallet putter, so naturally it's going to be a little bit heavier on the head. So she whacked it, and she really whacked it. You can tell how slow these greens are today.
Yep, it was a really nice roll. No bump, no bounce on the shot.
All right, we hit the flag out they're playing with.
It's interesting, now, a few years ago, they gave you the option of leaving the flag in.
Yeah.
So some golfers like the flag in on their putts, some like it the other way.
It just depends on how you hit it. If you're going too fast, that pin can save you. It can be the difference between making it or breaking it.
I think that's going to come up short.
It looked like it caught a little lump or something there. Maybe a divot.
Maybe decelerated through her shot, and that's a common thing that folks do when you're trying to place the ball. Rather than just following through, you tend to want to guide it, so you, instead of bringing the putt all the way through, you sort of decelerate as you hit.
Exactly. All right.
We're not sure exactly.
This is Moss lining up her putt.
Okay, thank you. Soraya Moss, who was +1 after the 17th. I think, is this for her par?
I believe this is for her par, yes.
She's the one who was behind the
yeah, this is
tree.
For her. She had a beautiful shot right in here in front of the bunker. Third shot, she's going for par.
Okay.
Now, this one's going to break a lot more, especially because she's on the hill. Have to make sure to get it there. A little bit short.
Yeah.
Started breaking a little bit. That's no gimme either, but I know she looked confident in that tapping right there.
And she looked at the putt and said, you know, why?
As soon as she putts, she realized it's going to be left short.
Yep.
And that is
yep.
the worst feeling ever when you know.
Absolutely. Yeah. What do they say? 90% of the balls who are short never go in.
Exactly.
I think I'm even I'm even downplaying that. The idea is to get the ball to the hole. But in this case, you know, you get it to the hole, then it rolls by and turns, and then you end up with a worse shot than you had before.
And we saw that last hole. It was a little bit trickier to get through.
Trying to decide now, should she move the ball? In other words, you as the putter can ask the individual in front of you to place the ball.
All right, and I believe this is Maya putting up here. She had a very tricky shot under the tree, just chunked it a little bit.
Yeah, remember Maya's putting now for her bogey. She was 2 under the tree and then took 2 shots to get it onto the green.
Now we are only on the second hole today. There are still 18 holes of golf we're playing today, so there's still 16 holes after this to recover from.
And notice that she's asking the pin to be placed in.
With this, I would prefer the pin honestly to be placed in, especially that downhill if you catch it. And that looks like it's going to be a good putt. Get there.
Little short, turns a little left. So she misses her bogey. She'll be putting for a double bogey. Talking about Maya Canatella.
All right, she's going to mark her ball here. And then you have Abigail Smith.
Abigail from North Hartford, the sophomore.
2-time state qualifier your sophomore year. That is truly impressive.
Hard to do much better than that.
Exactly.
Since they don't let 8th graders play.
Just short. Oh,
my.
man. Just left it a little short, broke a little bit.
Heartbreaking. That's when you try to, you know, just ease the ball in. And
Exactly.
The least little hill makes the ball roll and turn.
All right,
think-
beautiful finish.
I
You even
think
saw a
that
little
is,
bit of a break right there.
Yeah, I think that is her double bogey. Canatella now trying to finish up. And as you said, this is not even a gimme.
It's a hard putt to read. You're on both sides of that slope, going straight up. Just left it a little bit short.
Making sure she doesn't step in anybody's line. That's where Casey Day's ball has been marked. She's able to
All
knock
right,
it in.
beautiful
that might
finish.
be a triple bogey.
I believe so. Definitely a harder hole. Like I said, that first shot can determine how you're...
And now here's Casey Day. You would think this is just a gimme, just a tap in, but we've seen how that ball can turn.
Exactly for the last hole. If you catch that lip, you're going further away than you were when you start.
Hit it firmly. It's where you try to convince yourself, you know, hit the ball firmly. Don't guide it in. You mentioned that mallet putter. That's a interesting choice.
I've been using the same Nike half mallet for 10 years now. Once you find a putter you use, you can never switch off of it.
Oh, nice putt, nice finish. That
Almost
is
broke a little left. She got...
Yeah, that's unusual. I thought it was going to break right. So that's a 4. That's a par.
Beautiful par to finish out.
Yeah, for Casey.
And I believe this is Moss's par putt right here. I could be mistaken.
I think it might be more maybe a double, maybe even a. She was the one. I'm not sure. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
One.
We're counting them. That either a par or a bogey.
Beautiful finish, though.
Yeah, it was.
Wait, strong hole to finish.
So the women's group is done. We'll now go back to the all-male groups. This group that started on hole 16, Isaac Skroka, is that Skoroka from C. Milton Wright, Trent Carey, Tyler Fialkowitz, and Nathan Haywood. Haywood from Patterson Mill, Fialkowitz from North Hartford, Carey from Falston, and Skoroka from C. Milton Wright.
C. Milton, Falston, we've all had power schools this year. I can't lie. We've had a lot of players hitting even par, under par every single time. It's beautiful to see at younger ages them staying so committed to the sport, especially with these dual sport athletes, like we said, playing lacrosse and they come into golf and they're shooting even par every day.
And Drew, they're working from the last group we see will be the top rated group. So that we saw the 6th rated group and now the women's group, and then it'll be the 5th, 4th, 3rd, and finally we'll come up to the 1st rated group. That will be the last group that will come through. Wind picking up here just a bit. Isaac Skoroka, currently an 11th grader at C. Milton Wright. And our first tee off is going to be Tyler Falkowitz. Tyler, a sophomore out of North Hartford. He finished third at Bully Rock.
And he is even throughout the day.
Yeah, that
Beautiful
means
start.
He's paid now 16, 17. It's coming to 18 even.
Looks like we're using an iron off the tee here. If that's him hitting, I believe. Like I said, it is harder to tell with the conditions. We are all wearing hoodies. It's very chilly out today.
It is.
All right, it's going to be an iron off the tee box hitting over the water.
Tyler Falkowitz, North Hartford golfer.
Beautiful swing.
Trying to see where that ball may have landed.
I cannot tell if it made it over.
Again, the wind's sort of in their face, maybe blowing a little bit left to right across their path of the ball.
An iron is a risky shot to use here.
Second one, +2 is Isaac Skoroka.
+2 throughout the day. Like I said, that is where around you want to be. You're going to be playing bogey golf throughout the day, par golf.
16 and 17. 17 is a par 3 over the water. I got my only hole-in-one in my entire life during a thunderstorm. Everybody else had left, and I think the wind just carried the ball into the hole.
I have still yet to get a hole-in-one, but I have been inches.
The great thing about it, Drew, is you have to buy drinks for everybody in the clubhouse when you get a hole-in-one. Because the thunderstorm had occurred, everybody had left.
And that's why I'm happy I never got a hole-in-one.
So I got the hole-in-one, bought no drinks, and went home happy.
There we go. That's the way to do it.
Even have a picture of my nephew was golfing with me, and he took a picture to prove it.
Look at this shot here. He's going to be about 100 yards from the green, beautifully placed, center of the fairway.
Yeah, not sure. Was that Skoroka's shot?
That was, yes.
Yeah. And now it's Haywood, and he is +3, Nathan Haywood. Haywood from Patterson Mill.
Looks like he's a 3-wood off the tee. Like I said, this is definitely, with these conditions, the wind blowing in your face, anything under a hybrid is a risky shot for these kids.
And we talked about it. You can't be too far. If you are, the trees that were small, obviously, when they were planted, this being a dairy farm, this had no trees at all. It was an open, pasture. And all these trees have been planted, since the course was built. My point is, you can't be long.
Exactly.
If you're long, you're dead.
And that's why this hole is a little bit trickier if you are using a driver.
Yep. And now Trent Carey. Trent Carey out of the junior.
+4 throughout the day.
3 years on the team, Trent Carey.
All right, looks like he's using a hybrid, if I can see correctly.
No, they have cranes. They sit.
You can hear the geese from our field mic beginning to squawk a bit. Leave us alone. The interesting thing is geese used to migrate, but they stay here now all year because the climate has become a little bit warmer.
I agree.
Yeah.
And of course, yet today we get one of the coldest days of the year to play 18 holes on.
Yeah. Mid-October. This is being October 17th, and we're lucky to have the sunshine. And
exactly.
Again, the leaves have not yet fallen, so it is just a perfect day to enjoy this county golf tournament.
And when the wind is not blowing, it is beautiful outside.
Yeah, and the wind now has sort of died. Trouble with that is if you're golfing and the wind is gusting, okay, you have to think about, is the wind blowing now or is it not?
Exactly.
It's a great thing about golf is that there's so many conditions that are different every day you come out.
Especially with the wind patterns, like we can see in front of us, the trees are going, but if you look over to the right, no wind at all.
Yeah.
So you got to really place your shot carefully here if you don't get caught in those gusts, because they can truly stop your ball.
Drew, we talked about this 18th green, and let's illuminate it just a bit more. Very narrow, maybe, 25 feet wide? It's probably maybe 30 yards long.
It's a very long green, but we have a bunker on the left side, bunker on the right. The bunker on the right is actually a little bit trickier to hit out of. It looks like the sand was just raked, so it might be a little bit hard. So I believe they are doing rake clean plays today, which means they can lift up the ball, rake it to make the ground softer, put their ball back down and chip it.
Yeah. We saw the young man who chipped over that sand trap and chipped it long and then chipped it in.
Beautiful chip in for par.
Amazing. That's one of the highlights of the day so far.
Especially from the angle he was at, chipping that in.
Yeah. I mean, I gave him no chance. I was thinking, double bogey, maybe a triple bogey. And that was Lincoln Blankenship, the young man we were talking about, who chipped the ball over the sand trap, chipped it a bit long and then chipped it back in.
Interested to see if we'll see any Texas wedges out today, especially with the ground being a little bit
Okay, now wait
faster.
a minute. Texas wedge. Now you're coming in with some of this slang of golf. Explain to the folks.
So the Texas wedge is, let's say you're right on the fringe of the green or you're about 5 yards off. You don't want to chip it because of the way the ground is rolling, or you don't know where you'll place it and you're confident you're putting. You'll take your putter and just putt it off the green, especially if you aren't confident in chipping it too far or too short. You just want to try and at least place it close.
Texas wedge. Wonder how that term got started, huh?
Well,
Maybe they use it in Texas a lot. Who knows?
I'll have to call my uncle down there in Texas to ask him.
Well, we see the 4 golfers. It looked like all 4 are in play. Nobody is in real, what you would call, prime position. They're all more than 150 yards away.
All right, down by the drop area, about a 160, 70-yard shot.
Don't see where that ball ended up. It's long. Do we know who that was that hit that ball? Yeah, that was Tyler. Tyler Flakowitz hit that ball. It looks like it's long.
It's on the carpet. Look at this. It's going to keep rolling, too.
Oh, yeah,
It's
now
still
we
rolling.
see it. Yep. Yeah, you saw the ball now. Good job by our camera guys. The ball hit long onto the cart path. And now it's Nathan Haywood to hit the ball. Nathan +3 coming into this 18th hole.
Now, we saw the ball on the cart path. Depending on where that landed on the cart path, they will get relief from that. Obviously, we don't want to damage your clubs. You know, there's no point in ruining your day over a cart path. So he will
No.
most likely get a card length or a club length relief.
Nathan has probably 175 yards. Wind, a problem.
Sounded like it was hit beautifully here. And look at that. That is exactly.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
What a shot. Nathan Haywood from probably 175 yards puts the ball 10 feet away. Now Trent Carey.
That is where you want to place your ball on the green.
That has to be the shot of the day so far. Trent Carey now. Trent from a junior from Falston. Looks like he hit it a bit fat.
But that's going to work out perfectly. Just get up on the green. Look at that. That's going to bounce and roll.
Beautiful shot. What
Look
do
at
I
these
know?
shots.
What do I know? I saw a lot of dirt fly up.
I did. It looked like he caught a little chunk back there.
But it hit us right on the edge of that hill. Hopefully it'll stay there and not roll back. Now I think it is going to stay there. He's got a little shot of maybe 15 feet.
Now you'd be
over a hill.
surprised, even with this wind, their putts are going to be blown all over the place. All right, we have
Isaac Skoroka now to hit the ball.
He looks like about, I want to say it's going to be about 90, 85 yards away.
Yeah, we mentioned that nobody was in great spot, but Isaac certainly is. If you could put the ball where you wanted to, just lay out, go out and place it, this would be the spot.
Exactly.
Right in the middle of the fairway. Maybe, as you said, 90 yards away.
Smart to use your rangefinder out here, especially with the way the pin placement is. You want to get an exact read of where you want to land it on the green. Now,
And
the
that-
wind will
now-
push the ball to the left here.
And Drew, you just mentioned the wind, and you can hear it in our field mics. The wind had about died a moment ago. Now it's really, and we look at the trees, the top of the trees, it's even blowing harder. Wind blowing from the golfers left to right, or actually right to left.
So he's going to want to play this a little bit more to the right.
Nice follow through. Oh, beautiful.
Oh, beautiful shot. Hit
Go
the
in the
pin.
hole.
That was could not have been placed better again. We have 3 beautifully placed second shots here.
Drew, I'm telling you, that is talent, because with the wind and the distance a couple of these kids had, you've got sort of triangulated the pin.
Exactly. And it looks like we're hitting from the car path over here. Beautiful chip.
Oh,
if
that
he
is
can
a
just
nice looking chip.
catch the roll, and that's going to
Thank you. Yeah, that's Tyler.
be about another.
Tyler Fialkowitz with the shot. And that's well done from back behind the green. Again, he was facing a downhill roll. He put it just about pin high.
A beautiful recovery, especially from where he was.
So we've got 3 chances for a bird and 1 chance for a par. This our third group that we've seen: Isaac Skoroka, Trent Carey, Tyler Fialkowitz, and Nathan Haywood.
With the wind blowing on our backs here, the balls definitely will be affected because the way the green is laid out.
You don't think about the wind affecting a putt, but it does. wind now picking up. It's probably the strongest we've felt the wind blow. You know, Drew, it's supposed to get warmer. It's supposed to get a little warmer during the day. It's getting a little more chilly. All right. As we said, we have 3 attempts at a birdie, 1 attempt at a par.
First putt here, we are going a little bit up downhill here. Very tricky. If you place it too far, you're going to be way over. Let's see how he leaves this birdie putt. That is a perfectly placed.
Yeah, right speed, and again, not knowing how much hill to give it. The ball trickled off maybe a foot, foot and a half.
Set up great for par right here.
But Drew, as we said, no gimmies today.
Exactly, no gimmies.
No gimmies at all. Here's the attempt for par by Haywood.
Just left it a little bit left of the cup. Perfect distance though.
Remember, he was a young man that was behind the green, chipped it on.
Taps it in for bogey. Like I said, that's a great bogey from where he was hitting it over the green. He had some power to that hit it that far over.
Here's our third player. Yeah, we're trying to figure out who that young man.
I believe that is Isaac.
That could be, yeah. That's Isaac Skoroka, who missed the birdie. Again, you saw that ball move. It's hard to believe it actually moved uphill, it appeared.
Exactly.
I mean, there's no reason that should happen. Now here's our third attempt at a bogey. Excuse me, at a birdie.
I believe we have Haywood.
Yeah, we're thinking this is Nathan Haywood. That
Ropes
comes
a
up,
little bit to the right.
Just a bit short.
Leaving it short.
Again, one of the great things about golf, Drew, and you know this, is the camaraderie that occurs, the sportsmanship, you know, where you're trying to help each other as much as possible.
And we have, all these kids are friends with each other. We have our students at Bel Air, some of the best friends of Steve Milton kids. It's a great time for them to get out and just have a free round of golf.
Oh, that ball almost trickled off to the right, but it goes in. So it looks like we've had pars all around except for the one bogey. Assuming, of course, this ball will go in, which is something you can't do. Yep, good putt. Boy, that was a good group.
That was a great group to watch.
Yeah, 3 great approach shots and then 1 really good recovery. So I think we had, what, 3 pars and maybe 1 bogey in that group?
I believe so, yes.
So now we head to the group that started on 15, our 4th male group of the day.
All right.
Sean Downey, the C. Milton Wright player, will be the first one up. Sean, a junior.
+1 through the day. That is a beautiful way to start. Like I said, and now I believe this is their 4th hole they're playing.
4th hole, yeah. Started on the 15th, 16th, 17th, and now here is the 18th.
He was the Winners Run Junior Club Championship.
Played golf for 9 years. If my math is correct, he started as a second grader. Wrestler. Now there's an unusual combination.
Yeah, exactly.
Wrestling and golf.
You don't see that too much. Like I said, we're seeing a lot more dual sport athletes.
And you know what? A 4.5 GPA student, which I don't think is all that. Yeah, here's Topping now, Charlie Topping from Patterson Mill, and he is +1 as well. Again, we're progressively getting to the higher rated groups. So
Exactly. So expect to see more 1 over, 2 over.
I was going to mention about being a 4.0 student. I did that in high school. I was 1.0 each year. And I added it up and got
I was right there with you.
4.0, that should count for something.
High school, I was a C average student. College was a different story. I was a lot better there.
You buckled down a bit, huh?
I mean, I was paying for it, so I had to.
There you go. Mom and Dad weren't paying, you were. So this group, Topping, Parsons, Barkhorn, and Downey. Downey from C. Milton Wright. Ronald Barkhorn now teeing off. Ronald from Falston. He is +4. after 4 holes, being +4. Barkhorn Sr., only a second year playing golf, probably the most laid-back player on the team, we're told. Really doesn't seem to let poorly hit shot get into his head.
And that's the way to play.
That
You
is
can't let
a-
those shots ruin your day.
Yeah, lowest round of the year, 36. He'll
Wow.
represent Falston on the state team. Second year of playing golf.
That is impressive. Second year playing golf, and you were
36 for 9 holes. That's pretty good. 72 if you prorate that at the 18 holes. What's the best round, Drew, you ever had?
my best round. Let's see. I have shot 77, I believe.
Well,
And that was at Pleasant Valley up in Pennsylvania.
beautiful
Now,
course as well.
I'm not going to admit, but that was a very easy course to play.
Yeah. And now we have Connor Parsons. Connor is a +5. Yeah, Coulter Parsons, I'm sorry.
2-time state qualifier,
Yeah,
senior captain.
captain of the team, the North Hartford Hawks. Nick
Using-
Panos, one of the great coaches, longtime coach, Nick Panos,
Exactly. Using a 4 hybrid here, it looked like.
hitting from,
No, I believe I saw it in the fairway over here to our left.
that's behind the trees from our vantage point. And again, we talked about on this dog-legged left, the problem is you can't be too far. If you are, you're into those high trees.
Exactly.
I remember back in the 80s, 90s, and even in the 2000s, those trees were like little seedlings, saplings. And
Now look at them.
yeah, they've grown now, 30 feet high and big and bushy. And
A bunch of dents in them from all the balls that hit them.
was it Lee Trevino that said a tree is 90% air? Why do I always hit the 10%?
Exactly.
I don't understand that calculation. If it's 90% air, how do I always... And have you noticed if you aim at something, you don't hit it?
Yep.
But if you don't aim at it, you do?
I must be a magnet for those trees.
You're like golfers lament, And I'm convinced that water has a magnetism to a golf ball.
You'll see it rolling, 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 rolling.
Then right
you're all
into
in
the
there.
water. Yeah. Why do we play this game?
We like putting ourselves through torture, apparently.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. It's called, masochism, where you like to just get yourself beaten
Exactly.
up all the time. Yeah. No, golf is, as you mentioned, Drew, it's one of those sports we can play our entire lives that you get with a group you really like being with, and some of the greatest friendships and some of the biggest deals really are made on the
Exactly.
golf course.
I remember I used to. I have a family friend who actually is the manager over at Sparrows Point, and he takes me out. We're playing the back nine. We're going to play the front nine. He's like, "Oh, let's not play here today. They're betting 10 grand for the 9 holes." I'm like, "Yeah, no, that's not in my budget. So
Yeah.
we're playing the back nine."
Yeah. No. Betting is not something that I want to do on a golf
Especially
course.
on golf.
It's hard enough, you're making a putt, but you got 10 cents riding on
Yep.
that putt? No.
I can only imagine the pressure on them. It's probably one of the first times they have an audience of cameras watching them.
Absolutely.
Wonder
yeah.
how that's going to affect their game.
And
Like I said,
again, you're talking about 15, 16, 17-year-old young men and women. Yeah.
exactly, the overthinking can really contribute a lot towards, especially this hole.
Of course, the professional golfers all have psychologists that work with them
Yep.
to try to get their mind right. If you can, thinking is the worst thing you can do as a golfer.
Exactly. I'm worried when I tee up in front of a clubhouse when they have to look at my shot.
Yeah,
I can only
exactly.
imagine how they feel right now.
Yeah.
Especially with the tournament in play today. But like I said, a lot of them, I told my team, like, look, we're going to get out there, just have a fun day. You're playing a free 18-round,
Your team being Bel Air. if you
Bel Air
didn't
High
hear-
School, yes.
Yeah, before we started, Drew is the I guess co-coach of
Yes,
the Bel
there's
Air team.
two of us coaches.
Very
Me
good.
and my close friend Michael Mull and the other coach there.
And do you teach at Bel Air as well?
I was a special educator at Bel Air High School.
Okay. Sean Downey, Ronald Barkhorn, Coulter Parsons, and Charlie Topping, and this is Parsons hit the ball. Parsons, who's probably 200 yards away,
I want to say it's about 200 yards away.
hitting the ball at a narrow green.
That's going to be a little bit to his right up in these trees over here. It's going to be tricky to find with these pine trees. You can see the birds come out a little bit, so we know he went in the trees.
Yeah, scattered the birds. That's not a good sign.
This is definitely the hole where you would want to, if you're under the tree, pull out a 4-iron and just try and just get yourself another shot. Not worth hitting the tree again.
Now this is a young man, I think, hitting the ball again from about the 200-yard area.
That's going to definitely be enough to get there. Might be a little much. It's going to be in the bunker right here.
Yeah, and that was Downey. That ball is right on the edge of the bunker. Could be worse.
Let me explain what I would do here personally.
Yeah.
I would take a putter out of there. You
Yep.
see how there's no lip right there and you're just
Yep.
going downhill?
Yep.
As long as you don't place that club, you're not taking the stroke penalty.
The problem is you've got a little bit of an uphill in front of the
That's
trap.
true.
You got to get it through that uphill, and then it's all downhill.
Well, you know what they do in Texas?
Wedge. I learned that from someone. Someone sitting next to me could explain the Texas wedge trick.
All right, tricky shot here coming out of the pine needles.
Yeah, and this is Barkhorn. Barkhorn from Falston.
Right
now-
there in the back of the green over here.
Yeah,
Charlie Topping hitting next.
Topping is up now. Topping it was the +1. Yeah. Yeah, we've got a ball on the back of the green, not a cakewalk at all. That's a downhill putt coming up. We've got a ball in the trap.
But like I said, we will be surprised. We saw that chip from behind the tree over the green, then chip in for par. So who
Yeah.
knows what we can see today?
Yeah, that was a miracle shot, by Nathan Haywood. Second note by Lincoln Blankenship from North Hartford, the first group that we saw come through who made that great shot. Now here's a young man with the ideal position, getting ready to hit the ball.
100-yard shot away.
Yeah.
Could not be any better.
The wind has died down. This wind is really tricky today.
I know, it's on and off. You can never predict it today. All right, it's going to be a little bit short. Look like he just hit behind the ball a little bit. A lot of backspin on the ball. So he's
Yeah.
going to have to take another chip here, trying to get to the back of the green.
You've noticed the dirt that flies up, it's been dry.
It has been.
And so, normally you wouldn't see that kind of dirt fly up when you hit, but because we haven't had a lot of rain here, the conditions are very dry, which again leads to the question, why is this green so slow?
That's what I was wondering myself. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if they watered the greens down earlier today or maybe yesterday, but they do seem surprisingly so. We do see a little bit of sand
Yeah.
on the back of the green here, so I'm wondering if they maybe sanded the greens a little bit.
Yeah, this is Parsons now, getting ready to hit. Coulter Parsons, senior captain from North Hartford.
Looks like he's taking a drop. Unfortunately, he did lose it in that pine tree. The pine trees are no joke here. You can never go under there. You could go under and hit it, but
Taking the drop means he sacrifices a shot. So he's hitting probably 4 here.
that would be 4, yes. Using what looks like a 56-degree wedge. Just trying to get it up and down.
A nice high shot.
There we go. That's what you want to do.
Yeah, it hit that hill and took the spin and took all the speed off of it. So he's going to be maybe 12, 13 feet short.
Now, I believe this is Topping right here on the front of the green in front of us.
Yeah, this is Topping. This is a young man who came up just short.
Let's see if he goes for a little flop shot here.
Yeah, Drew, would you do a flop shot or would you try to do the Texas wedge trick?
That's tricky. From here, I might try and flop it just because you have that tricky
Uphill.
little uphill right here.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like he's going to open the club face a little bit and do that himself.
Charlie, a 4-year varsity player.
And he just hit behind the ball. That's
You know,
going to be short.
That's the problem. A flop shot, you have to hit it perfectly. If you're going to punch the ball, even if you miss-hit it, you get something out of it.
Exactly.
Now here's the left-hander hitting it from. Yeah, it looks like he's going to be next, hitting it from the trap. Yeah,
Beautiful out. That's going to roll.
that's Downey. Yeah, that's Sean Downey. And again, we mentioned that even though he hit it perfectly, it hit that downhill roll and then it ends up about, 12, 15 feet from the cup.
That is tricky, especially if you aren't lift raking and then playing.
Here's Barkhorn now. Remember, he's the young man that had it in perfect position, hitting from the back.
There's my kind of player there. Texas wedge from the back of the green.
Yeah.
Beautiful putt. It's going downhill. It's going to roll. He needs to slow down a little bit.
Nice roll.
Beautiful putt.
Was that Barkhorn who? Yeah, that was Barkhorn who's hitting the ball. Topping. Topping hitting now. Thank you. The wind picks up, and we mentioned about, you see the leaves flying across the green.
The wind has been very inconsistent today, making it a small challenge to add on top of the conditions. Especially playing cold, your hands start getting a little cold, your ears get cold. Can really affect you a lot.
Through the last group we had come through, they had shots on the green, all three of them. Now these young men have struggled a bit, mostly I think because of the pickup of the wind.
I would agree, especially the wind we saw caught the ball hitting it into the pine tree over here, which is already a tricky shot. We had one go over the green, but actually he has a beautiful shot for par, it looked like. It's going to be no gimme, like I said earlier.
But that was a beautiful shot. He played the hill just right.
And playing on the bunker, that's probably the best you can do, especially with the conditions of it.
Yep, you certainly don't want to leave it short and have to hit it out of the bunker again.
Catch the cup.
Oh,
Beautiful putt. Beautiful putt.
Trying to see which one of the golfers that was. That was a beautiful putt. That should have been for a par. Yeah, that was Downey who made that putt. Parsons now putting? Now Downey, I'm sorry. It was Parsons who made the putt before. Thank you. This is Downey who leaves it a bit short. Now Topping, lining up his putt.
Tricky putt here. You're on top of the hill. You're going down. You don't want to put it past that cup. This is one you might want to leave just a little bit shorter if you aren't going right in the hole.
And you know it's going to come left. At least the balls so far have done that. And it does just that at the hole.
And look at that. Even when you go past it, like I said, it's going to go downhill. But that's where you want to leave it if you aren't going to make it.
Mm-hmm. So you don't want to be putting downhill because another miss, then it goes about 10 feet by.
No, we saw him do there. We saw him place his ball marker, but use a club length just to make sure it's out of the way.
This is Barkhorn now getting set to attempt a shot.
A little bit uphill. This is the one that had that wild break we saw in the first group.
This ball is going to come right, we think. And does.
Broke a lot more than he was anticipating.
Yeah.
Left it a little bit short too, it seemed, just a little scared to hit the ball.
Yeah, we call it sort of babying the putt, trying to guide it in. You have to convince your mind. Downey now to finish up. But you have to convince your mind, hit it hard. Don't baby it. But
exactly.
Then just as you start coming through,
and throughout the day, the greens will change. When we see it heating up a little bit, we'll see the greens speed up.
And now Topping.
Charlie Topping +1 throughout the day, finishing up.
And
Beautiful putt to finish.
You saw it break. It's hard to believe that a 6-inch putt could break that much.
Exactly.
It probably broke 3 or 4 inches. So now we've seen our fourth group come through.
Charlie Topping +2 throughout the day now. Still great, going to the 5th hole +2.
Here you'll see a putt that maybe from what, 15 feet or so?
15 feet. Look at that beautiful read.
Just dove right into the hole. That's the kind that, if it's going to be on TV, you want to see that so the rest of your life you can replay that for your grandkids.
Exactly.
Now we come to the group that started on the 14th hole. Ryan Kitchison, John Morton, Nathan Frarmeyer, and Greg Sebring. Kitchenstein from Seamilton Wright. Nate Frarmeyer from North Hartford, the first one to tee off, the 3rd year playing golf.
+1 throughout the day. That's exactly where you want to be.
Yep. So that's 14, 15, 16, 17, and now he's on 18, just at +1. Frarmeyer, a junior, 3rd year playing golf, North Hartford golfer. John Morton from Falston, senior, been on the team for 2 years. Ryan Kilchenstein.
Again, opting in for, it looks like a 3-wood off the tee box.
Yeah, it's some kind of a wood. And again, we talk about it. The choice is everywhere from a hybrid, some hitting an iron,
depending on how that wind is, right now there's not that much wind, but that wind when you're up there will be slowing down your ball. So a 3-wood hybrid in between those would be the right play for some kids, maybe even a driver.
Yeah, but if you get the hybrid up in the air, then the wind plays tricks with it.
Exactly. All right, John Morton is +3 for the day. He's going to be next on the tee box.
John Morton from Falston, senior. John will represent Falston on the state team. Golf is interesting. You have the district tournament first,
Yes.
and then the county tournament. Normally it's the opposite way, and then the state tournament coming up in a couple of weeks after that.
Now, having both of the first 2 tournaments at Geneva does give you an advantage the second time through. I believe it used to be held at Mountain Branch Golf Course. Going from Geneva to Mountain Branch is a lot different in the conditions. That's going to be just left of the cart path here. Still an okay shot to lay up on.
Yeah. Again, this 18th hole is so interesting. Our next golfer, Greg Sebring, out of North Hartford, Greg, a junior.
+3 throughout the day. Again, still exactly where you want to be going in. Especially coming off those back 9. The back 9 has some holes that can really give you some trouble. Looks like he chose to use an iron off the tee box here to get over the water. The wind kind of picking up as he hit it.
That pond is a significant pond. It's probably, what, 40 yards wide?
That pond is definitely hard to get over. Obviously, he just barely got over, and it's going to be on the car path. He may get relief from that, depending if he's on it.
And now it is Kilchenstein.
+4 throughout the day as well. Again, right where you want to be.
Kilchenstein plays basketball and baseball. 4.6 GPA. How can you be a 3-sport player and still get a 4.6?
Well, I was a 1-sport player, and I was at a 2.4, so I don't know how they do it.
You know, I talk to some young people, and often if they're busy, they do better, because when they're not playing a sport, they get kind of lazy and go home and watch TV or play video games.
See, I was the opposite. I was one of those band kids in high school, so I was always playing shows and touring around. So
Okay.
I thought I was cool back then, and then I hit college and like, yep, time to
buckle down.
I'm paying for it. I might as well do good.
Well, it's good memories at least, huh?
Exactly. I was in the
Yeah.
best memories of my life doing that.
Kilchenstein, interesting, works at Winners Golf Club on the weekends and in the summer. Remember the National Honor Society engineering pathway at C. Milton Wright. Best round this season was during the match at Bully Rock for Upper Chesapeake match. Qualified last year as a sophomore with the team to go to the States. He'll be a team representative again this year. Ryan Kilchenstein.
And at only a junior, that is truly impressive.
Yeah.
Going to his senior year, he's going to have a lot of scouts looking at him, especially at the state tournament.
Yeah. With that kind of 4.6 GPA.
As we see the parents going through with their blankets, it is a very nice cold day out here. I don't blame them one bit. I would be the same way.
Yeah.
We love seeing the parents representing their kids out here. It's wonderful to see.
Yeah, and we really want to thank all the folks at Geneva Farm for hosting this tournament. The kids play free.
Exactly. They play for free.
Yeah, and they practice here. The North Hartford team practices here for free.
I believe the Steve Milton team also is practicing here this year.
Okay.
And the best part is, at the end of the day, they get a nice warm meal from inside the clubhouse.
Yeah. Jack Davis, again, the owner of the farm, 7th generation who owned this farm. And I was talking to him back in the 1980s when I was writing for the newspaper. And he called me up and said, I'm going to make a golf course. I said, what do you know about golf? He said, nothing. So I kind of laughed. And, you know, then a couple of years later, here's this course. He made it, built it himself. You know, I saw him out here on his tractor, you know, plowing it up, planted the trees. Can you imagine?
This is a beautifully open course, too. Very fun, very good if you were just getting into the sport trying to play.
Yeah, if you at the time, 1988, there was not one public course in the county. This was the first public course that the public could come and play, you know, in the county. And Jack Davis died maybe 4 or 5 years ago, but he used to come up to the to his clubhouse, and he would sit at the bar and just talk to people. He never picked up a golf club in his life.
Hey, sometimes the best friends you meet are at the clubhouse.
Yeah. Jack Davis, just a great guy.
All right, we have Greg Sebring using his rangefinder here. Looks like we have a kid looking for his ball down to see if it went in the water.
Ugh. Yeah, hate that.
This is a really tricky shot here, bending around that tree. If he brings back his right foot a little bit, he'll be able to faded on. Looks like he's using probably a 6-iron.
Yeah, do you want to go under that tree?
I
Looks
would
like
try
he's
to.
trying to go over.
This is one. I don't think he's too happy with that shot, to be honest. I don't think he did what he wanted to. I would try to play it around that tree a little bit. At least give yourself a good shot.
I don't see where the ball landed. It, as you said, from his reaction, he wasn't happy.
Low. That's what we call a stinger. When you keep the ball that low to the ground.
So we've had a Texas wedge and now a stinger.
The stinger is when you keep your ball within 5 feet of the ground. You don't want to get too high. That's what, with the wind like this, stingers are a great shot to hit.
Of course, then you're subject to every little whim of the ground where the ball could hit a lump or some kind of a rock and you be in a bad position. Morton now to hit the ball. Morton +3 on the day.
On the carpet, let's see how he plays this. He did get relief, so that's good to see, but it did put him a little under that tree.
Looks like he's trying to do that stinger trick you were talking about, hitting the ball low. John Morton, senior, been on the team for 2 years. That tree has that limb that's just hanging out there.
I know.
That's the one where you
Bring
say,
it
I'm
over
going to
there.
get my chainsaw and come out here tonight. And don't want to give you any ideas now. Looks like he did pretty much what he wanted. Trying to see where the ball
Just on
landed.
the left side of the green, it looked like.
And probably if you had a choice, the low side of the green, you're hitting uphill.
Yep.
Probably the better side to be rather than trying to hit it downhill. Now Kilchenstein.
+4 throughout the day. It still has a great shot just up on that hill. All right, that's going to work out. Look at that.
Yeah, well, great
Look
shot.
at that.
And that's what you want. Hit a little bit high and roll back down. And now it's Fromeyer, the junior out of Hartford Tech. There's a little Kilchenstein. He's a young man who tried to hit it under that tree. Don't know if he got relief having gone in the mess or that's where the ball ended up. Nice high
Beautiful
finish.
height. Look at that. Beautiful backspin on the ball. That's going to be right where you want to place it. We have 2 chances for birdie here. Greg Sebring.
Greg Sebring out of North Hartford. Sebring on this side of that little outcropping.
There used to be a little gully there.
Yeah.
After they patched it up and replaced the grass. This is his 3rd shot. Nice high shot. Right in front of the pin, almost went in.
Wow.
Beautiful backspin. That is where you want to be. That is going to be a great par comeback here.
Yeah. And again, he was hitting 3, so now he could save his par here. Yeah, that ball came within, what, 6 inches?
That
of
was easily
being a
within 6
dunk.
inches. That was a beautiful shot.
Yeah, it was. But again, we emphasize it's not a gimme. That putt is probably going to break a little left, depending on how
exactly.
you hit it.
But that is a lot better look for par than what he was looking at earlier.
Yeah. So we got 3 balls on the green. The 4th one down below the, and that is a Morton, the one who's below. Now he's going to hit it up over this trap.
Morton going for his chip.
Now it looks like he beyond the trap, huh?
I believe so. I don't think he's in the trap. He's over it. Keeping his feet close together. Taking a few practice swings here.
Looks like he's going to try to pop the ball up.
That's what you get to do here. If you land it on top of that hill and let it roll down. Let's see how he plays this. Just a little too much club on that. He's going to be
Yeah.
right behind the bunker over here.
Puts himself in a really tough situation. Went beyond the bunker in the high grass. So now he's going to have to chip the ball back over the bunker with that downhill. That ball is going to, if it hits the green, it's going to go all the way back to the other side of the green.
John Morton is +3 throughout the day.
almost looks like Greg Sebring below the hole, fixing his ball mark.
We're taking the time to read their putts here. We're going to have, looks like John Morton going up the hit again.
Yeah. Morton in a really tough situation. That's again, he was trying to pop the ball up. Looked like he bladed the ball a bit.
A little bit, yeah. Very tricky spot, especially with how your feet are going to be laying out here.
You're allowed to move objects that are not growing. So he moves a couple of leaves. That is a great shot.
Go in the hole.
Hit, oh, just missed the pin.
Beautiful follow through.
I mean, you couldn't have hit that ball any better.
Like I said, that is probably the tricky shot you have on this green because you're going downhill to even more downhill over that bunker.
John Morton, that was just, I mean, you talk about a golf shot. That the luck hit the pin and might go in. As you see, it went all the way to the other side of the green, and there was just no way he could stop it.
Exactly. But that is how you want to play that ball right there.
And the grass that he hit it out of, that high grass, that could stop your club, and you could end up putting the ball right in the sand trap.
Exactly. All right, so we're going to have John Morton hitting again here off the green.
Yeah, they used to say, you haven't lost your turn. That's what I think no golfer wants to hear when, everybody stands and you get to go hit the ball again, meaning you're farthest away from the pin.
Little Texas wedge from off the green on the fringe here.
Ball's going to come right, uphill.
Just get there. Great distance on that putt.
It was, yeah.
All right, Ryan Kitchenstein.
Kitchenstein, who, again, the 11th grader we mentioned before, the 4.6 GPA student.
The junior out of Steve Milton Wright.
Uphill, again, the ball should come right at the cup. Deceiving because it looks like the pin is sort of on a downhill side, but
Definitely going to have to give it some to get it there.
yeah. But you don't want to be long.
Exactly. Look at that. He absolutely hammered that ball, and it was still a little short.
And it didn't come right either. It came even a little bit left. Here's Frohmeyer.
Every player marking their ball to make sure don't get anybody's way.
Frohmeyer got about a 10-footer with a break going to the right. Frohmeyer out of North Hartford. The junior.
We have more wind up here right now, so this will definitely affect the putt on their ball. A little uphill, going right, just too far right of the cup.
Yeah, it's so hard to plan how far it's going to break depending how hard you hit it.
Especially if we don't want it going back down the hill even further. John Morton tapping in here.
This is John. Remember, this is for his bogey. Remember, he was long across the green, across the sand trap, and then chipped it back. Made that great putt to get this close.
Let me remind you, these are the hardest putts to make in my opinion. You start thinking too much, and the next thing you know, you just go a little too far right.
Yeah, but that right-hand break. Kilchenstein now.
Finishing up his putt here.
Let's see if he learned something from that previous putt. You can't baby this in. You have to hammer it in.
Want to play it just to the left of the cup here. Don't underestimate that break.
Oh,
Beautiful
nice
putt.
job.
Beautiful putt.
You saw it hit the back of the cup. That's exactly what you want to do. And now it's Frohmeyer. Frohmeyer, who had that ball just trickle off to the right.
Beautiful tap in.
Yep.
Greg Sebring.
Sebring to finish it up.
For par after that beautiful third shot he had to recover.
Yeah. Cross-handed putter. And he makes it.
Beautiful par to finish out on. Great recovery.
We talked about that cross-handed. That's very unusual, where normally the left hand for a right-handed player is below. This time his right hand is actually above his left hand.
We've been seeing a lot of new putting techniques coming out of it, especially after watching a lot of pros coming from PGA. We see a lot of people putting like pros like Bryson DeChambeau using more of a high putt. Jackson Geyer coming up. He is even throughout the day.
Wow. That's 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Now he's even. I think this is our last group that we'll be seeing today, too. It should be the top-rated group, the group that in the handicap system figures to be the best. Lucas Parks and Jackson Parks and Cam Kunkel. The Parks players, both from North Harvard brothers.
Okay.
Lucas Parks is senior captain, 2-year state qualifier. And Jackson Parks, a junior 3rd-year golfer. This must be Lucas Parks?
I believe I heard Cam Kunkel. We have Cam Kunkel on tee right now.
Yeah,
he is +4 throughout the day. Still great where you want to be. Let's see how he plays with the wind in effect.
Cam, a senior, has been playing golf at Boston for 4 years, a team captain, current 9-hole average.
That looks like it's going to get there too, especially with that wind. It's going to play out perfectly. Look at that beautiful shot. He's going to be about 105 yards away. Could not have played that better.
This is either Lucas or Jackson.
We got Lucas Parks up on the tee box. He's +5 throughout the day.
Yep. Lucas, the senior captain on the team, 2-year state qualifier.
Again, that wind is picking up as soon as they get on the tee box here, making it a lot trickier to hit.
It's the kind of thing you want to get out of your mind. You plan your shot, but don't let the wind affect how you play. But easy to say, hard to do.
Exactly.
This is Hartford Tech.
Jackson Parks +6 throughout the day on the tee box now. +6 throughout the day, yes.
I think I said that they were from North Hartford. Actually, Jackson Parks is from Hartford Tech. Yeah. Don't know if they're related. One is a senior, one's a junior. Jackson Parks, a 3rd-year golfer. Cam Kunkel also in this group, along with Jackson Geyer.
All right, we're going to see the group walking down to the balls now. Cam Kunkel with the beautiful shot about 110 yards away. That's going to set him up for birdie if he can get it up there.
Jackson Geyer, what a golfer. He is 2nd in the 2024 Maryland Junior Amateur Championships in June. 4th in the USGA Junior Amateur National Championship qualifier in New Jersey, June of 24. Placed 161st in the USGA World Amateur Championship in July 24. Committed to attend play golf at Loyola University of Maryland in Division I.
Staying local. That's
Yeah.
what we like to see.
Jackson Geyer, senior at C. Milton Wright, played basketball as a freshman and sophomore at CMW. Played golf all 4 years at CMW. Golf has always been Jack's passion, his favorite sport. Started playing golf at the age of 5.
We'll be hearing that name a lot throughout his college career.
Played competitively in state tournaments since the age of 7. Played in regional and national competitions since he was 10. Currently ranked as one of the top golfers in the state of Maryland. Public high school state golf championship finishes. 5th as a freshman, 3rd as a sophomore, 3rd as a junior. National championship finishes. Wow. What a resume for a young man, Jackson Geyer.
From C. Milton Wright High School. One of the powerhouse schools of the Hartford County golf.
Yep. So our last group here that we have featured for you, we again started with the group that was rated as the 5th top group. We worked our way back to the group that's the 1st rated group. Started on 13, hole number 13. That means they will turn the corner now and go to number 1. They'll play 1 through 12. So those that start on 18 will go to 1 and play 1 through 17. I don't know if that messes with your mind a little bit, Drew, when you're normally used to starting with number 1, and now you're starting either with 18 or 17.
It can definitely come into play. Let's say you're starting on a par 3 per se, and knowing that you don't have that easier relief hole.
Yeah.
So I like to call par 3A a relief hole because even if you get a 5 on it, double bogey, you're still feeling better than getting a triple bogey on a par 5.
But think about 17 here, over the water. It's such a delicate shot. You'd like to have a wide open maybe shot. You can just boom the ball like a par 5
Exactly.
to begin with.
But then let's look at hole 6 here. We have a very long par 4. I believe it's 447 yards.
Yeah.
For a lot of these kids, that's going to be a almost guaranteed bogey, double bogey.
Thing about golf, again, it is such a variety thing. Every course is different. No two courses are the same. Unlike football or some of the sports that play on a traditional field, you know, every day you play golf with the conditions, with the course, with the quality of that course, with the weather conditions.
Exactly.
It's all different.
And in golf, there truly is a home course advantage here. When you're practicing that course every
Yeah.
single day of the week, you know it like the back of your hand.
Yeah. Now we see Parks, Lucas Parks, the lefty, hitting from about 140, maybe 150 yards. What a shot. Stay out of there and get back
That's
a little
gonna
bit.
roll right back to the fringe of the green.
Not a bad place to be, above the hole. This will be Jackson Parks now.
Cam Conkle up next. +4 throughout the day.
Didn't see where that ball landed.
Look just short of the green up here.
Over on the left side. And now we see Geyer, Jackson Geyer, the young man we were talking about, playing in all these great tournaments and making a great showing.
And we can see why. Placing that ball perfectly center of the fairway.
Yeah.
Just bring it over to the left a little bit from that tee box, leaving you with about 105 yards away from the green.
Pitching wedge probably for him.
I would say he's using a 60 degree, 56 degree maybe. Maybe a 52.
So explain to the folks who don't understand, that's a ball that's the ball much higher, shorter obviously.
This is Cam Conkle hitting his shot.
That's Geyer who hit it on the green.
We see Geyer landing on the green already. Conkle taking a shot up here.
Yeah, thank you. This is Kunkel with shooting now.
Got very under that, but perfect flight. That's going to land right by the pin.
Beautiful shot,
spin
yep.
on that ball.
And again, if you could place it below the hole, that's where you want to be.
Exactly, and he definitely puts in backspin on that to prevent it from rolling down further.
The trouble is that is going to be a breaker. It's going to be that putt that's going to go right to left or left to right as it comes to the hole.
Still a good shot at birdie.
I'll take it. Yeah. Let me place my second shot there. I'd be very happy with it. So we got 2 balls on the green.
We see Lucas Parks over here, short of the green.
Lucas from North Harper. +5 coming into this hole. Should be hitting his 3rd shot from there.
Jackson Parks just behind the green over here.
So we have 2 balls on the green, 1 short, 1 long.
Lucas Parks reading his green here, seeing how he wants to play this.
Interesting, some of the players with just the golf cap, others with that that sort of protective beanie cap. Going to be a bit short.
Just
Not
didn't
sure
get
if
on
he-
top of that hill right there.
Yeah, not sure if he wanted to play it and let it roll to the hole. He didn't get it far enough. This is Jackson Parks.
Cam Conkle picking up his ball, placing his ball marker down.
is a Jackson. You know, you think, what a tough shot this is, going downhill. You know it's just going to take off, but you've got to get it through that high grass first.
Exactly. Actually, an advantage being left-handed here.
Yeah. The ball's going to go from right to left as it gets to the hole. Just a
You
bit
read
long.
it good. It's just going to catch that downhill.
Yeah.
Tricky shot.
Yeah, and now it's Geyer. Geyer for a bird. We have not yet seen a bird today. We've seen that chip in for a par.
We've seen some very clutch pars.
Yeah.
Like you said, this is a trickier hole to birdie. It all just depends on how you hit that first tee shot.
Yeah, give me a par. I'll even take a bogey. I'll be very happy. I'll march off to the next hole
Exactly.
and say thank you very much. Geyer shooting for the birdie.
Wind is going to push his ball back just a little bit here. It's breaking.
Oh,
Just short.
Heartbreak. That ball came up 2 inches short.
He could not have read that ball any better either.
Played it perfectly.
He's going to tap this in for par.
I mean, you can't be disappointed with a par, but being that close to a birdie.
Still even throughout the day.
Yeah. Showing why he is the favorite to win today.
Lucas Parks up the putt from Hartford Tech. Great read.
Oh,
really great putt. Just a little right.
Excellent putt.
And then we have Jackson Parks up, lining up his putt here. Just came off the toe with the club a little bit, leaving it short, a little bit right of the hole. Cam Conkle up the putt next.
Cam Kunkel
Going for birdie.
going for birdie.
He did have the read from Geyer earlier too.
Yeah.
Should have an advantage on this putt.
So it would be nice if the last putt we see today would be our first birdie.
Just left it a little bit right.
Yep. That's the one, if you want to get it in the hole without breaking, you just really have to jam it in. But then talking yourself into doing that
Beautiful
is a
par.
real problem. Yeah, and here's
Jackson Parks finishing up the hole.
normally a gimme, but nothing is for sure until it's in the cup.
Nothing is promised with conditions like they are today.
Yep. There it is.
Beautiful finish to the hole.
Nice finish. Good job by all of our golfers. Yeah, we have one more to finish. This is Parks from Hartford Tech. And there we have it. Drew, it's been an interesting day. We've seen some great golf shots. We've seen some struggles. We've seen the wind play into it. We've seen the conditions be part of it. It's just been a very interesting day, and we've seen some really good golfers.
And I'm interested to see how the day plays out. Normally we're starting to warm up by now. We'll see a lot of the sweatshirts come off, a lot more players getting comfortable with the conditions, more comfortable reading the greens. It's going to be a very interesting day on how it plays out.
Well, we'll have the results for you made up in terms of a stat sheet that will show you who did finish first in the tournament. We've seen the young ladies play as well. We've seen 5 of really top male groups. These young men will now be playing in the state tournament, most of the people we've seen. Drew, any comments or final thoughts about what we've seen today?
Exciting day, especially coming from C. Milne Wright, Foston, Patterson Mill, powerhouse teams. I'm very interested to see who takes it today.
Very interesting. We really thank you all for tuning in. We thank the folks at Geneva Farm for allowing us to be here again this year. Every year they host us in the county golf tournament. It's been fun. Hope you've enjoyed it. Don Morrison signing off here from Geneva Farm Golf Course. Good day, everyone.
Thank you for having me.